What is the scariest thing you've ever seen while driving at night? Driving down a 2-lane divided highway, I came up to a couple semis and went into the left lane to pass. I did a shoulder check to get back into the right lane when I saw headlights in front of me. In my lane, the car was going the wrong way. I managed to swerve into the ditch. Felt like I was mere centimeters from death. Thought my wife's scream would be the last thing I ever hear. And I never want to hear it again. The semis I passed all pulled to the shoulder to come check on us. Didn't see the car anywhere. I think they just kept going. Had to pull into a gas station after and collect myself. Edit. Rephrased to make less confusing. I don't know if this is really scary, but it definitely freaked me out for a moment. Driving home from grad lab for a couple hours of sleep. About 4 in the morning, longish. Time-sensitive experiment. Not dawn yet. Still pitch black. Turn a corner. And suddenly, someone runs into the street right in front of my car and stops. I stop. I wait. They don't move. Cautiously, I try to drive around. They scream, run up and slam their hands on the hood of my car. With them so close, I realize they are totally naked and filthy. They stare at me for a moment, then proceeds to run in wide circles, kinda listing to one side then the other, in front of my car. After about 2 minutes of this, he lists hard to one side. Far enough I felt safe quickly driving around them. Very wide. On the other side that was now open. Meth. Man. Edit. I had no idea this counted as scary. I thought I was being a baby. Being scared when I had been. Haha. Quick answers. Quote. This is PCP. Not meth. Quote. I genuinely don't know my hard drugs. Guys. I am very sorry. I just know meth is the drug of choice of the city. Quote. WTF is listing. Quote. HTTPS. N. Wikipedia. Org. Wiki. Angle _ list. Sorry. I genuinely thought this was a common term. I guess I read weird crap as a kid. Quote. Of course this is scary. Quote. I am originally from Russia. This is a lot more common there than here. I guess. When I told people in my lab, they were just like, quote, oh, yeah, one time, similar story here. So I thought I was being a baby. Also, I think people are confused and I guess this changes the level of scary. But I am a girl. A closed Waffle House. Someone I knew locally came across a Jeep that had just crashed into the ditch on a highway at night, flipped on its top. Wheels still turning kind of thing. He was the first on scene, so called 911 and ran down into the ditch. The driver, who was badly mangled, had been tossed from the car and was dying. This guy held him and the driver died in his arms. The weirdest part of it all was that he found out the next day that it was his cousin. But he hadn't been able to recognize him as here. A hitchhiker almost leaping out in front of my car on a dark forest road late at night. The woman literally popped out of nowhere. Had to drift into the oncoming lane. Luckily there was no one else and painted median there. Read a police report that she ended up getting hit minutes after I drove by. She was intoxicated and running from the police. Pretty fucking creepy. I hope she's alright. I can't imagine what the driver that hit her was thinking. An asshole overtaking a petrol tanker around a blind corner. Coming my way. Scared the shit out of me. A lonely abandoned shack with a bunch of arrows pointing to it, saying come in. I dropped my GF off the night we saw the Mothman Prophecies. It wasn't a super scary movie, but it had some scares. I take the interstate home. On the way, there is a curve where there aren't any lights. Just a dark stretch of interstate. As I came around the bend, there was a guy in a black trench coat walking along the side of the road. As it was about 3 a.m., I guess I started him as here. So, when my headlights hit him, He whipped around and I swear he stared me right in the eyes. My heart jumped into my throat. The whole event lasted maybe 2 seconds tops, but it had my heart racing. Not paranormal, but definitely scary for me. I was following a gray Toyota Tundra in a massive blizzard through Montana on McDonald Pass. He was going pretty quick most of the way but must have been unfamiliar with how steep the final few miles are. He got away from me as I slowed down to about 35. Not 5 minutes later I passed his tire marks in the fresh snow that went off the side of the mountain. Pulled over and looked down to see his truck upside down and on fire about 300 yards down. Called 911. He didn't die but was burned up pretty bad. Sad and scary, and don't go 50 in the snow just because you have a truck or 4WD. Driving to work at 4:30 a.m. and seeing a cyclist with his head split open and brains on the road. I got off on my exit, and the whole road was covered in blood. I put on my brights and saw a bisected body of a large animal. It just made me so sad. Frogs. Fucking everywhere. Like hundreds of frogs all over the road. Dad was driving at night, and I was looking out the window and saw 2 red pinpricks in the cornfield. And it followed us. I told my dad about it and he said, in the most calm, casual tone for this situation, quote, "Those are cornfield demons. Stay in the car and you'll be okay." Quote. Cue me freaking the hell out when he got out of the car not too long after to check that tire before getting back in. And #X200B. I am still not sure if that was an actual thing or if he was using a situation to his advantage to teach me not do anything stupid like that at night. Either ways, it worked, and I still have no idea what those 2 pinpricks were. I slammed the brakes once because I saw a deer in my peripheral vision. Upon closer inspection, it was a mounted deer head on a stick in the middle of the woods. Slammed the gas after I realized that a dead, butchered horse laying in the road. Someone had completely skinned and butchered a horse, took the choice pieces of meat, and just dumped it on the highway. I almost crashed into it. I was on I-70 in Colorado going towards Utah. Pulled over at a gas station at 8 p.m. Fueling up, I noticed a couple of attractive women pumping gas. On the other side of the pump was the man in his late 40s. Just staring at these young women without notice of anything else going on around him. I walk inside to go grab some food for the next few hours of driving. When I come out, I see both the younger women's car and the older man's truck are gone. I decided to hang out at the gas station for the next hour to catch a little sleep before hitting the road again. After driving for a few hours, I was speeding heavy. I pull over at yet another gas station. The young women are there getting gas and eating some food on a picnic table. Looked like they had been there for a while. I didn't see any sign or the man in the truck, but can't say I was looking very hard for it. Well, here is where it got creepy as hell. Can't say I didn't stare at them a bit. I mean, they were good-looking women. As I am watching them leave, I see in the next parking lot over some headlights turn on, and it's the same man as before. He leaves when the women leave once again. Okay, that's a bit weird, but could just be a coincidence as there weren't many places to pull over. I leave a few minutes later and catch up to theme. Now this guy is riding their ass with his high beams on. I decided to slow down and stay a distance behind the truck. 10 minutes or so later, the women pull over once again to most likely get this guy off their ass. With a sign of relief, the truck keeps going and I continue on my way. About 1 mile down the road, the guy just pulls off to the side of the highway. So I pull off a mile or so down the road again. Sure enough, the women drive by and the guy is still following theme. At this point, we are out in the middle of nowhere and too many coincidences have happened. I called the cops to alert them. In about 15 minutes, the cops pulled the guy over. I could have just seen too many horror movies that started like this and overreacted, but yeah, never. No, better safe than sorry. I used to deliver pizza, and often had deliveries right at midnight when we closed. One time, late at night, I am driving back to the store through a small neighborhood. Up ahead I see something. It's perfectly spherical, bright, shiny thing, just hovering about 6 feet off the ground, not moving at all. I pull up very slowly. Still doesn't move. Still can't comprehend what I am looking at. Just this shiny hovering orb in the road at midnight. At this point my curiosity has overridden my fear. I am the guy in the horror movie who dies first because I just gotta know. Either I die or I get a cool story. Right? So I hop out of the car and slowly walk up to it. I am right in front of it and still can't understand what I am seeing. So I reach out and touch it. It's a balloon. One of those foil birthday balloons with the streetlights shining on it, making it look weird out of context in the middle of the night on an empty road. I was driving on a near-empty freeway at midnight when I saw a weird flickering light on the freeway. It was super dark and barely any lights besides headlights, so I slowed down a bit and merged a lane over. As I passed I got a good look and it was a car absolutely destroyed and on fire. I was a little shocked and ended up driving a bit past it before I really saw what it was, and by the time I thought about pulling over it was already far behind me and a cop sped past me on the other side, so I knew they were aware of what happened. I was fetching someone from his workplace. Had to go through some fields, and some parts of the road were dark. I saw a thin, long object wiggling at an upright position at the side of the road in front of me. Totally freaked me out. I thought I was finally experiencing something extraordinary. As I got closer I realized it was a tail of a cow. It must be escaped from some field and was hanging around at the side of the road. The cow itself was black, the tail slightly lighter in color. That's why I only saw the tail moving first without seeing the whole cow first. Alright, that's about it for this video. Remember to destroy that like button. Don't forget to leave a like. What did you think? Leave a comment. If you want to see more epic content, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon too. I'll see you next time.